Okay, example one really isn't an example. It's just asks you to explore side angle side congruence. And they have a little video for you. But the essential idea here is that right, we don't need all the corresponding parts of each triangle to be congruent in order to show that the triangles are congruent. We don't need 3 pairs of sides and 3 pairs of angles. If we have 2 pairs of sides and the included angle, that's the angle between the 2 sides, that's going to be sufficient enough to show that these triangles are congruent. So essentially, let's just say the length of this was 2, and the length of this was, I don't know, 4. So this is 2, this is 4. Okay, and let's just say this was 50 degrees. The angle here was 50 degrees. Okay, you can't draw a different triangle. The whole idea here is if you have a side length of 2, so if we have a side length that's 2, and then a side length that's 4, so say that was 4 and that was 2, and then we finish our triangle, okay, and let's say that was 50, right, and we finish our triangle, there's only one possible triangle there can be. If we do a set of rigid transformations, it's going to match up with these two. These are both, right, these are rigid transformations of each other. If you rotate this 180 around and then shift it down and right, it's going to match up with this one. Mine, if you shift it, I don't know, about 30 degrees counterclockwise, and then you shift it up and a little bit over, it's going to match up with this one. So the idea is you don't need all the parts to be sufficient enough to show that the triangles are congruent. If you have 2 sides that are congruent, and then the angle between them is also congruent, that's going to be sufficient enough. Okay, if we look at your try it, okay, it says what set of rigid motions or compositions of rigid motions shows that they're congruent? Well, it's going to be a translation. So you're simply going to translate this over to the right. And then you're going to reflect it over a vertical line. So shift it to the right. So Y matches up, or W matches up with Z. And then you're going to reflect it over that line. Okay, and that's going to show that they are congruent.